Sometimes you need to pause, a pause to listen to yourself. Let us not change our whole life in a day, but rather one step in a time. Welcome. Let's start from within. Hello, my dearest Parissa Nahravanian.
Hi, Avi. So good to see you.
Located now in
Toronto, Canada.
and born where?
A1.
Yeah, and this is Avi, Dr. Avi Goren-Bar from the Jungian Coaching School, and I am located in Athens, Greece, and originally from Tel Aviv, Israel. I'm very excited to have, I don't say to host you because as we agreed, you're hosting me kind of, and I know you're a leader, I know you're a heroine, I know you're a Jungian coach, I know I love you very much. I know that beside studies, we met in conferences, and I want to give the stage to you. Very thrilled, very excited, and let's start.
Thank you so much, Avi. And thanks for giving me such a great opportunity to be here and have a heart-to-heart conversation as we discussed before. So we have a like a structure in place, but all we want to do is like show curiosity about each other and just be present and be there and see where we are in the world.
Following the coaching mindset. Here and now, dancing the moment, being together. Nevertheless, I want to say that in a previous talk, somehow we found ourselves circulating around the concept of identity. So eventually we'll touch it here, there, and everywhere.
Exactly. The concept of identity, Avi, for me, was more built in the last 4 years of my life. So if someone asked me who you are or introduce yourself 5 years ago, I would say I'm from Iran. I migrated to Canada. I have two boys. I have a degree in mathematics and MBA, and I have worked in business planning and financial management. Until 4 years ago, I moved to US. And like when I migrated from Iran to Canada, I handled the changing culture, language, everything very easily and smoothly. So moving from Canada to US should be something that I should have been able to manage it very well. But surprisingly, I became from someone who is practical, logical, have a structure in place, know what I want to do in 5 years and 10 years, to someone that I could not understand myself anymore. I was paralyzed. And I was handling a lot of changes at the same time, and I didn't know what to do. And the previous structure, being strong, being like having answer for all questions, didn't serve me anymore.
What was the cardinal critical component that really twisted you around?
For me, it was the sense of belonging is one factor. I could see myself as an Iranian Canadian in Canada, and I settled my life here with my job, with my community, and in most aspect of my life, I was settled. But when I moved to US, I had to quit my job. I was in US, and I was looking to change my career completely from business planning and financial management to either coaching and therapy. That was one factor. And then being in America and trying to be more American to sort of find my network, find my friends. And then I moved 2 times in the US as well. So 2 years in Boston and 2 years in Virginia. And I was feeling stuck and I didn't have answer to my questions. And I think that experience helped me to even become a better coach myself, to be able to understand and be comfortable with being uncomfortable, not having answer to all the questions.
Being comfortable while not being uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
When did
yes.
you come across the Jungian coaching, and how was the Jungian coaching program interwoven into your transition?
So when I was at that moment, I was going through therapy myself, And I realized that therapy is going to help me in long run. But in short term, in my day-to-day life, I need help. I need someone to help me understand, to help me prioritize my challenges and navigate through life challenges. I looked and researched on different coaching schools, and I was about to sign up for one of the most prestigious coaching company in the United States. But then I paused and I thought, do I need another degree, another external validation, or I need something to understand my internal world better? Because from the outside, my world didn't change, but the sense of identity in me shifted drastically when I was in US and Canada. So I wanted to understand that part more. And also, I was familiar with the human work, and I was thinking, what if there was a coaching that wouldn't be like a traditional coaching or like a surface level coaching, something deeper? And then I searched Jungian coaching, and then I found your program. And
which generation do you remember? Because now we're fourth generation. Now we're into the 17th generation.
And I remember myself, I was overwhelmed. I was lost. I didn't know what I was doing. But being in the program itself, it wasn't just about learning tools and framework. It was like transformational itself, because you need to be vulnerable and witness other students being vulnerable. And I still remember you became a volunteer to be a coachee and let one of us lead you. Do you remember when you were asking about, you brought a dilemma about you want to put your dog to sleep and you didn't know when is the right time? I don't know if you remember at that moment. But for me, that was heart-touching, knowing that the founder of International Jungian Coaching Schools is also dealing with same stuff, same life challenges that we are going through.
Parissa, let me just share with you to balance and feel symmetrical, because apparently I have been living here 7 months now in Athens, and I haven't been home. I still call Israel home for the last 3 months because of the war. I couldn't come. At my age, I am experiencing this. It was very nice the way you defined it, that it's not the external changes. I can manage. I drive here. I have my partner to life here. But there is something internal that is now very chaotic. I don't know about you. I used to, when I was asked, where are you from, I was very proud to say Israel. And now I'm kind of shamed, trying to avoid. I've never walked mentally inside like this, hiding a bit. And I wonder, how do you feel as Iranian in between America and Canada?
I feel much more comfortable with being Iranian in Canada than being Iranian in US. So when I was in US, for me, before saying that, if someone asked me, where are you from? I would say, I'm coming from Canada. If they showed more curiosity in saying that, where are you coming from, like originally coming from, I would say from Iran, but with a pause that what kind of experience that person have with Iran, what heard about Iran. So it makes it more difficult for me to have that sense of belonging. And obviously, I'm speaking from my own experience. Other Iranian around the world might have, different experience. And Avi, you touched an interesting and important thing about identity when you shared your experience about not being proud of being Israeli in this era. Because I have a question from you. One thing that amused me and fascinates me about you is that I have seen you in different settings with your students, being in conferences with your colleague, in different settings. I can find you're very open, vulnerable, spontaneous. You always bring a sense of surprise, but at the same time, very consistent. This is my understanding when I look at you. So we can see a typical Avi everywhere, but it's still you bring that sense of being real.
What is the
in
question?
Every setting that is. My question is, how how can you manage to bring that consistency even though you are dealing with identity crisis yourself? Because let me give you an example. For me, in some depends on external world. When I'm among my friends or when I speak Farsi, I'm more open, I'm more expressive. But in some settings, I feel shy or I'm not expressive as much. So I have like a different personas. But when I look at you, I'm amazed how you can have that consistency among your different part of your personality.
Let me answer to you through an episode that happened this Saturday. My partner to life had birthday, and she hosted 25 old friends from the last 40 years, all literate, educated, academic people. Some, not few of them, work in Brussels for the European Union, so they are very updated, and they have very tough political opinions about Palestine, about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Iran, everything. They're very opinioned. And I was very stressed before, although I cooked the whole dinner with great salads and mezes and fish and meat. And I said to myself before they came, Avi, you go inside your capsule. My capsule is my. I'm an introvert by the end of the day, so I know how to hold a glass of wine and observe. Um, I think that when I was younger, I needed to impress. I have no need to impress. And I stayed with my authenticity. But luckily enough, they were polite not to ask anything that would start with the conflict. Although we didn't speak about identity from the religious point of view, but Greek is a very, very Christian Orthodox country. I now experienced with them the Pascha. For me, it's ridiculous because for us Jews, Pascha, for example, is something very big and profound that has to do with liberation from slavery into freedom, blah, blah. And Jesus was eating his Pascha meal in Jerusalem, which means he did it the Jewish way. They did Hallel and everything. God knows, but I think that it's all the time my compass is my true self. I don't care with whom I interact. I stick to my true self. And sometimes it's very tough, very tough. I guess you also have this feeling that we need to assimilate all the time. Let's jump to AI. You mentioned something about AI, and I found it very interesting. How do you think artificial intelligence is falling into this question of identity? Because we want in Jungian coaching this year to apply a lot of the technical aspects, and we are now preparing Heroine Quest game, which is an AI application. And it's really fascinating, but I want to hear your opinion about it. You have some thoughts
Sure.
that you shared with me.
Avi, you talked about being authentic and being true to ourselves. And this is already very difficult. And I think that identity crisis that we talk is not just us. It's impacting a lot of people, especially in the age of AI. And the world around us is changing so rapidly that it's sort of like shaking our identity. And we don't know. I think that the AI threat is not about what I'm going to do and what are the impact to my job in the next 5, 10 years. It's a threat to my identity. Who am I in 5 and 10 years? And I think AI does two things at the same time. It destabilizes our world because of the rapid changes. It sort of make our external world um, destabilize the external world. But at the same time, it also brings insight. It helps us to understand ourselves better. It makes us to like with tools and framework. It really helpful. So I myself, as a coach, I heavily use AI tools. I have 3 paid subscription AI, and I use and I like consult with one of them, and then I switch to the other one. But I also believe that at the same time there is a gap. There is a gap, and it's getting even more deeper. That gap of insight and action. And I think these are the area that we as a coach help people. how we can bridge between insight and action.
Can you
And I
define
think
insight? Insight, define insight more clearly.
so. Let me give you an example. For example, like AI is really good in helping us to bring to the insight. For example, with the help of AI as my coach, I can understand, I can come to that insight that, for example, my perfectionism is coming from the fear of being not adequate. So then I understand, oh, I'm not lazy. It's coming from a fear. That's an insight, and it's great. But then next day, Monday morning, I want to start something and I feel I'm paralyzed and what I'm going to do. And this is the gap that I see. And I would like to know what do you think about it? That this is our work, especially Jungian coaching, can help us to sort of like bridge the gap between insight and action. Because we need someone to walk the path itself, to understand, to help us to sit with the fear, to understand the fear, to not fix the fear. Don't see the fear as a problem to fix, as something to understand, as a raw material that we can, change it to something, as a raw ingredient that we can cook something with that fear.
Listen,
And
sorry to interrupt, but as we are short of time, I want to respond to this.
sure,
My hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of coaching people validated what I had known before, that unless there is what I call a moment of grace from the Creator, unless the coachee arrives to an emotional shaking or insight, but solely emotional, there will never be change. As I keep saying to my students, that emotion in Latin is ex motia, which means bring out movement. And when we do a coaching session, and as much as it would be wise and intellectual with great insights, unless there is a moment of grace where the client is connected emotionally to the insight or to a data that burst out or to a mode of behavior that comes with an archetype, there will not be an innovative approach, and there will be nothing to do an action plan. Now I'm preoccupied, does the AI, which lacks emotions, which is by the end of the day is very stupid, will never confront you, will be always plastically polite, will help you to figure out million options of solutions, but will never touch the feeling. And if it asks, how do you feel about that? It will answer in a plastic way that you will feel that it's like a stewardess, but not really care. You know that in Israel, in the Tel Aviv school, we have a graduate who is a steward. And this guy says that although he's extremely polite, he doesn't care and he doesn't remember the passengers. And I feel that the AI is like this. So we need to use the AI to flood us with knowledge about the psyche. This the AI learns and knows by now. But the moment we need to, as you say, bridge out the insight through an emotional phase to the acting, this is where I think we humans need to come into the picture, and we can be optimistic. I think that there will be not too many professions in 100 years, but psychologists, priests, Qadi, I don't know how you call them in Farsi, Ayatollahs, we will need them. We will need the spiritual intermediators, and I think the Jungian coach is a very decent intermediator between the inside, what you call, and the outside. How do you respond to that?
absolutely, Avi. And this is exactly, I deeply resonate with that because, as I said, AI can help us to understand ourselves. So AI can help us to sort of map our internal world, but we need someone to hold our hands, to walk with us, to to be able to sit with us because the reason I cannot sit with my fear. It's challenging for me to sit with my fear, understand, and be vulnerable. But you know, the relationship that I have with someone else can help me and hold a space for
You
me
keep
that
repeating,
allow me to
keep
experience.
repeating fear. Have you practiced yourself the shadow technique that we do because fear makes you inferior? And did you ever speak to your fear or created a sculpture that will represent your fear and see what is underneath there?
Absolutely, yes. And as I said, the one thing that makes us a better coach is not better tools, better techniques, and better use of AI.
Yes.
Is be comfortable with being uncomfortable and be vulnerable and be present. And even so, when I speak with my client, I talk with them from the standpoint that I am experiencing the same thing as you, and even I cannot say that I sort of like integrated myself fully. I'm still in the process, and uh, and I learned the one thing I can say, the most important thing I can say I learned from your coaching school is trust the process.
Parissa,
So
trust the process. We are about to be landing, and I want to ask you, why do you we love each other? Because when I look through our interactions throughout the years, for me, there is a great love and appreciation for your courage, for your not only values but customs. I remember we were dancing together, and your way of dancing is very similar to our dancing. We are very emotional and we express our emotions. We love our family dearly. We're very connected to our parents. You not once and not twice you told me, Avi, I lost my father. You're a father for me. So
yes,
before I'm, sending you more and more love, and we will meet in the conference in October, hopefully in Lisbon.
definitely.
Yes. So tell me what is your emotional insights when you look at me, when you meet me, and when we hug? What is there?
So you know, I mentioned that in that conversation. When it comes to you, I see you the father that I lost my father when I came to Canada. Like 3 months after that, I wasn't able to go and sort of be in my father's funeral and grieve for my funeral. So there was always an empty space because I never believed that I lost my father. And when I look at you, from your face, from the who you are, your personality, you are very similar to my father, and I feel so connected to you.
What was his name?
And
May you rest in peace.
his name was Tappy.
Ta
Tappy. Tappy. Yeah.
Kage.
Tappy. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like now I'm very emotional now.
Yeah. I hug you. I
Um,
want to wish you to, I hope they arrive to anything that would call peace or peacefulness so that you can go back. Have you been to your father's grave already?
uh, yes, I've been there twice actually. Yeah. Because um, he was that kind of person. He didn't go to visit to give a visit to his parents. Um, grave. He always said my parents live inside me, and I feel the same. I feel like because when I go and go to cemetery, I don't have any
Positive.
feeling to that stone, but I feel that my father lives inside me, and I feel connected to him. And I feel more connected to him when I spend more time with you, actually,
That's
and the more experience I have with you.
so lovely to make an end here. Thank you so much, my beautiful and wise Parissa. Thank you for giving your time and your wisdom to this conversation. Hope to
Thank
see
you
you
so
soon.
much, Avi.
Miss you a lot.
We'll see you soon.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.